Yo, it's me, it's DDP. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Hockey Happy Hour. We are live from the BMW of Atlantic City Studios here in Mount Ephraim, New Jersey. I am Matt Sensuti, along with Rob the Pove Povia, and the Dark Wing himself, Mr. Brian Daly, is MIA today. Car trouble, like was stated before, at Fantasy Dominance now. Hopefully everything can get squared away in the near future. But anyway, with that being said, though, we will continue in spirit, and we also will continue with our great sponsor, the Scanzano Sports Center. They're located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. Like I said before, I am Matt Sensuti, your European champion, and along with, of course, Rob the Pove Povia. Rob, how you doing on this Tuesday afternoon?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's actually glad to be indoors right now with the heat all fired back up again. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the summer, but I'm ready for the ice. I'm ready for the coldness. So the show will hopefully bring that flavor a little bit to me and hopefully to all of you out there.
Hopefully. We got plenty to talk about, of course. And as it said on the marquee, we are going to be talking about the 2016 World Cup of Hockey. And why? Because, well, we haven't really given it its fair share of a preview. We've been talking about it, we've been hinting at it, we've been teasing it, and we are just 3 short weeks away from play beginning between Team North America, Team Canada, Team Sweden, Team Czech Republic, Team Russia, Team Canada, and of course, the good old Team USA.
USA. Screw Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, a lot going around about Colin Kaepernick, and a lot of people definitely not happy with him.
You know, you made a good point off air during FDN with Colin Kaepernick. I know this isn't the show for it, but I don't know. It is a medium for you to express it if you want.
Well, I just look at it this way. You know what Colin Kaepernick is doing, and it's so very obvious. It's a very tasteless form of it, very distasteful way, but he's trying to bring attention to himself. You want to know why? Because he's irrelevant. No one cares who he is. The last time people cared about him, he was in the Super Bowl facing the Baltimore Ravens.
And hasn't done squadoo since.
Yeah, so I mean, it's kind of obvious what's going on here. He's just trying to get people to hey, notice me. So he says an outrageously stupid thing. Whether he believes it or he doesn't, that's his own problem. But really, at the end of the day, though, it's so obvious what he's trying to do. He's trying to get people to notice him because he's that one kid in class that has to be absurdly annoying to get attention.
Yep. I'm telling you, man, I was balls on accurate. A point that maybe I missed or I didn't see anywhere, but first time I heard it, and I think it was pretty spot on, Maddie.
Yeah, it just seems to me, people, when they say outrageous things, it's to get themselves noticed.
Oh, yeah.
It's for no other reason.
Yeah, pay attention to me. Me. It's all about me. Forget about the team. Yep, I get it.
But nonetheless,
luckily the Flyers don't have any players like that, or at least we don't think they do.
Well, we don't think. Hopefully we don't get any anytime soon. But we do have something we need to talk about the Flyers, and that is our top 5 expectations for the season. Now, I know we previewed the Flyers season last week, but we didn't really get into our expectations for the season. And the real reason why we didn't, we were busy trying to go through the roster, see who's going to be going, see who's staying. We haven't really encompassed what we expect to see from the team itself. And that's exactly what we're going to do right now. We're going to give our top 5 expectations of what the Flyers are going to be doing this year. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to start it off with 5 things we expect to see, whether it's from an individual Flyer or from just the team in general or the organization. Either way, why don't we get started? And
Sure.
I'll get started off with number 5 on my list.
Cool.
Strong power play. I'm expecting to see a power play and a special team force that is dangerous this year. Now, albeit our power play was okay at best, and then at times
it struggled at times,
it struggled,
especially later
yeah.
in the season, and the playoffs for that matter.
Yeah, it was very iffy, and then in the playoffs, it disappeared completely. I expect to see a much better power play this year, and the reason for it is I expect rebounding players like Jake Voracek. I expect to have a little bit more attack from Braden Shen. I also expect to see Michael Del Zotto to be back and healthy, so that adds some more defensive depth on your power play. Shane Gostisbehere will have a full year finally in a Flyers uniform that he deserved last year, but let's let a dead horse stay dead.
Right.
And I expect to see a little bit more coming in from depth for Dale Weiss as well. You never know who could come in there and kind of put a little shot in the arm to your power play possibly.
And to my point, when the power play started to struggle, who was missing? Michael Delzato. Right?
Yeah.
That'll be a great addition back to that power play. And here's my question. Will it help the power play? I mean, it's a pretty obvious question, but do you expect Travis Konechny to be on the squad to fill those expectations for you?
That is a very good question. I said this on The Fix as well when it was asked by Paul McCree, which, by the way, you can catch The Fix tomorrow at 6:15 as always. But really what I think we're going to see is Hextall likes to do slow builds, so I really don't expect to see Travis Konechny on this roster. Not only that, with the contracts we have, we really don't have the room to actually bring him up, sadly. Right. We would take a nasty hit if we did. So I would look more towards hopefully a mid-season scenario where he can sneak his way into the roster.
I mean, I just can't wait. I am salivating at the mouth to have the forwards on our number one power play line being Schenn, Giroux, and Konechny, and then having Gostisbehere and Voracek on the points.
Oh, that would
or
be
maybe
epic.
even Delzato and Gostisbehere, one or the other, depending on where Jake's state is.
Hey, possibilities are endless right now.
Oh, that'd be so juicy, though.
It would be awesome.
Number one power play
awesome.
in the NHL, absolutely, no doubt about it.
Maybe the NFL, too.
Maybe the NFL, too. Way to bring attraction to my stuff. I did 2 shows today. Come on. Man.
I was hoping you'd call me a scumbag. You didn't do it. Aw.
You're wearing a Flyers jersey. Of course you're not a scumbag.
That's true. I was there. Darn it.
If you were wearing a Ducks jersey, I'd call you a scum. Oh, Brian's not even
That's
here.
okay. He's not here. Don't worry about it. He ain't going to listen to the show. We're good.
All right, correction. If you're wearing a Blackhawks jersey, I'd call you a scumbag. Vince Vaughn.
Ducks
scumbag.
too. But anyway. But all right. So, but Rob, what's your number 5?
You kind of alluded a little bit to it, but I'm going to talk about his all-around game. Braden Schenn will be on the rise this season. I mean, he had a breakout season in 15-16, setting career best in goals, assists, points, power play goals, power play points, and I expect that to continue. According to in the past 3 seasons, he's one of 10 forwards 25 or younger with at least 18 goals and 40 points in each season, according to HockeyReference.com. I mean, that's good company. Hextall comes out and says he's a very good young player and has continued to get better. We hope that he continues to get better. Well, Mr. Hextall, he will get better. The man's paid. And unlike other sports where once they get paid, maybe they don't have the gumption to perform, hockey's a totally different sport when that comes, man. He's going to show that the organization was strong in giving him $4.25 million a year. And Schenn, I'm going to go as bold as say Schenn is our top goal scorer over Giroux, over Voracek.
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
I would really love to see him take the bull by the horns and really do something that extravagant this year.
Points, not goals, points.
Points.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Goals leader wide, you're expecting Giroux or Voracek to be up there in that regard. Maybe even Simmons, possibly.
That goes into one of my other 5. Yep.
But next up on my number 4, step up from the second line, more alluding to Braden Schenn, but not just him, Wayne Simmons as well. I expect that second line to step up big time. The second line, for all Braden Schenn did and all that Wayne Simmons did, oddly enough, it was not the 1,000% contributing factor to why the Flyers were mainly successful. It was also the goaltending tandem, obviously, of Michael Neuvirth and Mason. But Shane Gostisbehere added new life into the team and really kind of stepped up in the defensive zone. And then to add to it, the third line, strangely enough, had a little bit of fire to them that was kind of giving the Flyers a little bit of an edge there towards the end of the regular season. But it was still Wayne Simmons and Giroux primarily that were trying to get this team over the hump, along with aid from Shane Gostisbehere. I expect that second line to really push the boundaries this year and maybe even give the first line a run for their money.
Ooh, I like that one. That would create such good depth that this team desperately needs to not only have a strong top 6, but even feeding into the lower 6 as well. If you have both number 1 and number 2 lines firing on all cylinders, that allows for the coach, Dave Hextall, to really center on those lower 6 and really formulate the best type of combinations when you just don't have to worry about 1 and 2. They're set. They're good. Maybe in-game adjustments, of course, but, yeah, I hear what you're saying, man. I digs.
All right, then. So that's my number 4. Rob, what's yours?
I was going to save it for later, but since it's so topical, I'm going to throw it right now. My expectation is one Wayne Simmons will have 35 goals on the season and lead the Flyers in that department.
So shattering his all-time score from 30 to 35.
Yeah.
I like it.
I really do, man, because last year we saw that he could do more than just deposit himself in front of the net and get the garbage goals. He showed a strong wrist shot. Here's where Brian Daly would be arguing vehemently with me, but I'm going to stand by my point there. And I think that, there was some topics of trade with Wayne Simmons because you could get a nice pull for him, right? But the organization of Hextall gave him the vote of confidence. You're not on the trading block. You're part of our long-term plans along with the young pups coming up. And, again, that is going to motivate him to show that you put the faith in the right man.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Wayne. I mean, Wayne is, in my opinion, and I'm not arguing whether he is good or not because he is. I do hear what Brian says when he said that he does sit in front of the net and get the garbage goals, but I say it this way. Does that really matter how he scores? I don't care how you score.
Oh, yeah.
As long as that puck crosses the blue line, crosses the red line, I don't care how you score.
Who made a living doing that in the city? You know my man crush.
Yeah, good old Johnny Leclerc.
Absolutely. And then even more recently, Mike, Knuble.
Yeah, Mike Knuble.
Another good example. I mean, Shen can do those type of garbage goals too or whatnot. And you know what? I love him. I'll take 100 garbage goals because you know what? They're goals.
They're goals, yeah. Who cares how you score? As long as you're winning games, getting 2 points on the standings, or getting a game in on a series, who cares how you got
Matt,
the goal?
Let's face facts. This team gets in trouble when they try to get too effing cute. Go back to basics.
Yeah, you're right. We've seen the Flyers try to get some fancy plays going, and what happens? It usually results in a bad turnover and an odd man rush. We've seen it one too many times in the past couple of years. Simplify the game. Simplify the game, and you'll be successful. Moving on to my number 3, I'm looking for a competitive wild card chaser. This is more of a standing side. I'm expecting this team to compete for a wild card spot. Will they make the wild card? I did say on the fix last week that I expect them to make the wild card. I still do, but I'd be lying if I wasn't a little concerned. Think about it. You got the Ottawa Senators, who are going to be on a rebound. I said that on the fix, and I also said watch out for the New Jersey Devils, who have really revamped their team and are looking to try and get back into the playoffs this year. They don't want to wait till next year. They want to try and make it this year.
Right.
You got to keep your eyes open. Plus, Montreal will be coming back, so expect Detroit to get dumped or somebody else in that division to get dumped down into the wild card race in the Atlantic Division. Maybe even Montreal might have to compete for the wild card.
Maybe even some dark horses like the much-improved Toronto Maple Leafs. They might create some noise. Carolina Hurricanes have restructured a lot and have a lot of young talent. They made a push towards the wild card playoffs last year, and that could continue too. It's going to be very competitive, and then just centering in the Metropolitan Division, Caps, Penguins, Islanders, Rangers. It's tough sledding, right? I think the Flyers will finish ahead of the Rangers, though, in the standings.
So you think they'll be in the division?
Right.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I've said that before, and I guess I kind of got to stick to it, but it's tough because, the Islanders are good, the Penguins are good, or the Caps are good. Those could be your top 3. Can the Flyers maybe creep ahead of the Islanders? Well, they did last season, and they're only more improved now. So, sure, yeah, they have a legitimate shot at third. I really think that you can lock it up as a wild card team. I get that, I made points about Toronto and Carolina. You made points about Ottawa and another
New Jersey.
New Jersey in our division as well. Detroit maybe sliding down into that, maybe even Boston sliding down into that. It's going to be tough sledding, but this team's competitive.
All right, then. Cool. So, your number 3, Rob.
My number 3 expectation, stability and goal. A lot of people have their doubts about Steve Mason and Michael Neuwirth, but the facts don't lie. The Flyers allowed 30.7 shots per game, which was 8th most in the league last season. Among teams that made the playoffs, only the Chicago Blackhawks allowed more, 30.8. So the Flyers were second best even strength percentage in the league with a .933 percentage, which was 1 percentage point behind the Rangers. Mason's stellar play down the stretch was the biggest reason the Flyers made the playoffs. I expect that to continue. And then Neuwirth, who was limited to 32 games because of injury, He had 18 wins, which are second most in the NHL. He had a .924 save percentage and a 2.27 goals against. They are solid. If there should be an injury bug that comes again, you got Anthony Stolarz that could crop in. You even have a young Carter Hart who was just drafted. I like where the Flyers goaltending stands today.
Oh, absolutely. And there's been an article that recently put out that Hextall literally took the Flyers from being a pretty mediocre to not good farm system, and he's made it into the 6th best in the NHL from what people are ranking them right now. And basically one of the best, one of the top 10 farm systems. The fact that Hextall has done that in only 2 short years as a GM of the Flyers, I think that's a lot to say about a GM who has taken a team that was in desperate straits and turned them into something that could be spectacular and will be spectacular in the foreseeable future. But my number 2, and this kind of relates a little bit to that, trade deadline deals. I expect there to be a deal for a Matt Reed. I expect there to be a deal for someone who may not step up come the end of this season. Like I said about the second line stepping up, that all depends on Matt Reed in a lot of ways. Because Matt Reed's been getting delegated slowly and surely, just like Jake Voracek last year, who has not lived up to his contract. He has absolutely fallen apart offensively. Quite frankly, I think it's only a matter of time before the trade deadline rolls around and we start thinking, hey, you want Mark Streit mostly because of age, not because of play? Mm-hmm. And also, do you want Matt Reed too? Maybe even Andrew McDonald, because quite frankly, Andrew McDonald is just soaking up time, and quite frankly, he's a waste of space when you could bring up a prospect and get him ready to go. In my opinion, I expect a trade deadline deal from Hextall because really, that's when teams are more susceptible to making trades. Not at the beginning of the season, not in the offseason. It's right smack dab in the middle when the trade deadline's about to hit and teams are panicking. And they want to say, okay, what do we got to do to make the playoffs? What do we got to do to be competitive in the playoffs? Hextall could really take advantage of that.
Are we on the same wavelength or are we on the same wavelength? It goes to show that we've been doing the show together for a long time. We've had more pieces come in like Brian Daly, who's excellent in hockey news. But yeah, man, we share the same wavelength. It feeds right into my number 2, a strong prospect pipeline into the NHL. By making trade deadline deals or even earlier in the season deals will allow room for, and I predict, this is my expectation, that we will see Travis Sanheim with the big club. We will see Ivan Provorov with the big club. We will see, and you didn't agree with this, but we can agree to disagree, we will see Travis Konechny with the big club. Maybe even a couple games, just get us, just a tip, just for a second, see how it feels. A guy that no one talks about, or maybe no one outside of Philadelphia knows about, Nicholas Aube-Kubel, the 2014 second-round pick, number 48 overall, will be on this team. He's a guy that could definitely slot in for Matt Reed. He plays the right wing. He had 38 goals in 61 games in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League.
Yeah, and I heard he was a major sleeper pick that the Flyers made in that draft that year. And you're right. Definitely a guy you can look at and say, you know what? He could easily take a second-line position and really run with it.
Right.
And be that permanent second-line guy who could sit there and really tack on some points with Schenn and Simmons.
And who knows? Maybe we'll eventually see Samuel Morin, too.
Possibly.
It was like Chris Pronger reincarnated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we need a guy that can, besides Gudis, that can really check a mother. You know what I
mean?
mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And then my final number 1 expectation, Jake Voracek getting 20-plus goals. I mean it. He absolutely needs to rebound this year, and I expect him to. Why? Because he's billed as a good player. You know what good players do? Or actually, no, great players. You know what great players do? They rebound after a terrible season. And you know what? It was a terrible season last year, Jake. You should be ashamed of that. But it's in the past. There's nothing you can do about it now. What you can do is you can move forward and you can change the fortunes of your history with the Flyers with this season. You can say he had a bad year, and you know what? He snapped out of it. Next thing you know, he scored 27 goals on the season. He put up 30 in the year. He did everything we expected Jake the Snake to do. Be Jake the Snake. Be that pain in the ass on the top line that can score at any time, any place, anywhere.
Does he bring a bag with a snake to the ice rink?
I hope so. That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Rob, your number 1 before we go to break.
My number 1 is Dave Haxall will win the Jack Adams Award for Coach of the Year.
Interesting.
I mean, in his first NHL season, Haxall answered any questions about his ability to coach in the pros by getting the Flyers to the playoffs. Ron Hextall is expecting more success this season from the former University of North Dakota coach, and I couldn't agree with Hextall anymore. He's got his beak wet. He's got the experience. He has a lot of hockey know-how, and now being less concerned with the particulars and being comfortable in the position, expect him to make great changes on the fly, which he notoriously did for North Dakota, and just really maybe messing with the lines a little bit, but just making all the right calls and utilizing that timeout well. Everything that goes into the head coach's repertoire, Haxtall will be great at.
All right. Well, that is 5 of our expectations for the Flyers this year. If you agree, feel free to agree with us. If you disagree, go ahead, try. But that last segment was brought to you by Liberty Event Rentals. They're located at 2154 East Cambria Street in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. You can give them a call at 267-314-7368. You can visit them on the web at www.libertyeventrentals.com, and they are for all your party needs, tables, chairs, linens. They have it all for you. They won't clean up your trash, but they will set it up, and they'll take it right back down for you. So why not give them a call? If you got an event coming up, what are you waiting for? At the end of the day, folks, we are the Hockey Happy Hour, and we will see you guys right after this. It's time to talk about the World Cup. Don't go anywhere. Hockey Happy Hour, A2DRadio.com.
Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
A2DRadio.com is sponsored by The Sports Outlet, located at 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. With over 40 years of customer experience giving the latest in uniforms and equipment to sports enthusiasts of baseball, softball, football, basketball, hockey, soccer, and much more. Give them a call at 856-939-2030 or send them an email at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit their website at www.sportsoutletinc.com for all of your sporting needs.
Hey, do you consider yourself the next Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, or Jordan Spieth? Well, head on out on November 5th at Valley Brook Country Club in Blackwood, New Jersey for 820radio.com's first ever Real Talk Invitational. $125 per person to enter, teams up to 4 members, and it includes all you can eat and drink, and contests including longest drive, putting competition, closest to the pin, and the hole-in-one contest. Once again, it's November 5th at Valley Brook Country Club in Blackwood, New Jersey. The guys here at h2dware.com hope to see you there.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hockey Happy Hour, where we stand for the Star Spangled Banner. I am Matt Tensudi, along with Rob the Pove Povia, and we are brought to you by BMW of Atlantic City, and it is the sponsor of our studios. And I got to ask you guys, have you ever wanted the ultimate driving experience? Well, guess what? BMW of Atlantic City has challenged its sales team. They must sell 100 vehicles, which means you save. Right now, lease a certified pre-owned Elite 2016 BMW 320i with xDrive, just $299 a month for 36 months. The ultimate driving experience is closer than you think. BMW of Atlantic City, easy to get to, minutes off of exit 37 of the Parkway. They are online at bmwofatlanticcity.com.
I figured I'd give you a little resonance there.
I like it. I like it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is almost that time. We are 3 weeks away from the World Cup. But before we get into our talking, our rosters, our predictions, and everything, our in-depth analysis, we do have some things that are going on around the league. And, Rob, I think we should get to it.
Absolutely, man. Well, I mean, the one thing I will start – actually, you know what? I'm going to end with this one because that'll bridge right into the World Cup of Hockey. The Arizona Coyotes hired Dawn Braid as skating coach, and Braid now becomes the first full-time female coach in the NHL, breaking that barrier. Well done.
Well, congratulations. And congratulations to the Coyotes organization taking the step to breaking a barrier. Nice job.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously got to be well qualified for the position. I'd be lying if I was familiar with their coaching history. But I'm going to pay attention this year. I'm definitely going to pay attention to this year, and it'd be interesting. Do you think we'll ever see a female head coach in the NHL?
I think one day we will.
Yeah?
I'll be honest with you, because we're in a progressive society, and I think
we might have a female president soon, maybe. Hopefully.
Maybe. But it would be interesting to see a female who can handle the egos of male players, or
Right.
be able to coach a team of boys to the promised land, which I think isn't too far-fetched, but some people do.
Right.
But it would be interesting to see. And I think, honestly, one day we will see that team. We will see that special team that'll come along and it'll have a head female coach. And you know what? Guarantee you that team wins the Stanley Cup.
Probably, right? I think we may see a female referee before we see a head coach in the NHL. And I'm not saying a female couldn't do the job. I'm sure a qualified female could certainly do just as good, if not better, of a job as a man. It's tough when you get into the locker room scenarios, things like that. We haven't seen it in any of the other 4 major sports.
Well, let me ask you this question then, Rob. Out of the 4 major sports here in North America, what sport do you think is most likely to actually have its first ever female head coach between baseball, basketball, football, and hockey?
I think it's easy. I think it's got to be basketball. There's been so many prolific female athletes, and when you think about it, the game isn't that different when you're talking, girls and men or women and men. Don't get me wrong, a lot less physicality, maybe a lot more paint play in the NBA, whereas more in the WNBA, a lot of more shooters, but some legendary players. You know what I mean? What's her name? I'm blanking on her name right now. It's Reggie Miller's sister. One of the greatest basketball. I'm talking all around, guys, girls, the best. And I could see that translating well in terms of a head coaching role. It's just great. I mean, great for certainly for where they're breaking the NHL barrier. So it's good, and we deserve it in all sports.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be interesting to see one day seeing a female head coach behind the bench of an NHL squad. It would be very, very interesting.
Absolutely. They probably be more fired up than Patrick Waugh.
Probably.
And speaking of Patrick Waugh, that bridges the gap to the next news and notes here for around the league. The Colorado Avalanche do not hire Mr. Green, but hire Jared Bednar as new head coach. Bednar was the coach of the Lake Erie team of the NHL last season, and they were pretty successful. We'll see, will that success translate to the NHL? It hasn't been determined, or at least what I can see, whether it's an interim coach or full-time. All indications tell me that this is, he's hired for now and the future.
Well, I mean, that's an interesting swerve there that Colorado did. But we do now have our question answered. They had a replacement in mind. They had an idea of who they were going for, and they went for him. And they got rid of Patrick Waugh to go do it. Now, should Patrick Waugh still be coach of the team? Should he not be coach of the team? That's something you could debate for the rest of existence. But really, at the end of the day, though, for Colorado, I think what they did is I think they wanted some more stability in the locker room. Having it simmer through my thoughts a little bit on it, I think what really Colorado wanted, they wanted some peace and quiet. They didn't want Patrick Waugh constantly bitching and moaning about something. I could understand that, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens moving forward. But mark my words, if Colorado again misses the postseason with their new head coach, I think a lot of scrutiny is going to come under Joe Sakic because of that reasoning, especially if they miss it badly. If they miss it by a ton of points, I guarantee you Joe Sakic's coming under heavy scrutiny at the end of this season.
Absolutely. And now John Madden takes over. Not that John Madden takes over for a Lake Erie team that they're coming off of not only conference championship, but the Calder Cup, in 2015-16. So, I mean, we saw this success with John Stevens when he won the Calder Cup with the Phantoms coming up to the NHL level. Didn't win the big one in the Stanley Cup, but it was a very successful coach in the Flyers' history. Maybe it'll be along the same lines.
Yeah, I mean, he coached a team to the Eastern Conference Finals, team that wasn't even supposed to be there. So, that's definitely a good accomplishment right there.
And by the way, their nickname is the Monster, Lake Erie Monsters. That's great.
The Lake Erie Monsters.
I kind of flubbed that a little bit before, so I wanted to look that up. Moving on to Brian's team, Anaheim Ducks, they signed number 24 overall draft pick Max Jones to a 3-year entry-level contract.
It's a shame, too, because I was going to ask Brian about that today, but, sadly he's not here. But, hey, Brian, if you are listening, could you shoot a comment over to Facebook and what you think about it? That would be really appreciated. But,
right.
Anaheim, once again, taking their time, trying to see where they're at right now. I know they're kind of in a question mark phase of their franchise because of the way that they got eliminated last year. The new head coach, the returning head coach is a better word for it, back in play. What is their system going to be like? He helped basically lead them to the Stanley Cup. It's going to be very interesting to see where Anaheim's going to end up this year. Keep your eyes on Anaheim.
Sure.
It's not as cut and dry as it was last year.
Yeah, what I wanted to ask Brian is, do you think you expect Mac Jones to make an immediate impact, or is this maybe a guy like Konechny that you want to rear along? Well, I looked up his profile on EliteProspects.com, and according to this website, Max Jones is a diligent and hardworking power forward capable of being an impact player every shift. He's strong on the puck and routinely looks to create separation. He knows his game inside and out and has a wide array of tools at his disposal. Strength and speed allow him to bull his way to the front of the net where he is relentless and creates havoc. I want this guy on the Flyers. He's 18 years old. He plays left wing. He is 6'3", 203 pounds. Oh, it's a monster of a man. And last year for the London Knights, he had 28 goals, 24 assists for 52 points with 106 penalty minutes. Kind of a little Scott Hartnell, a little action there. Could put the puck in the net and sit in the sin bin all in the same shift.
Nice, nice. All right, then. Yeah, so interesting move for Anaheim.
Right. And let's see here, 2 more news and notes. The St. Louis Blues named Alex Pietrangelo 21st captain in team history.
Well, big move there for St. Louis moving forward. This is a team that's going to have another question mark on them because last year it was looking like they were going to make their first appearance in quite some time in the Stanley Cup Finals. But, yeah, they came up just a little bit short and lost to, of all people, the San Jose Sharks, who went on to make their first ever Stanley Cup Finals appearance. So, should be an interesting move for St. Louis moving forward.
I think it's, being that this is going to be Ken Hitchcock's last year behind the bench, I think he chose a good captain. He's been on the Blues for quite some time. He's got good leadership ability, so he's starting to set off, his legacy as it leads off. So I think it was just a good name for Hitchcock to put in place there.
All right, then. So we got Alex Pietrangelo as the new captain of St. Louis, and what else do we have, Rob?
Oh, this is going to bridge us right into the World Cup of Hockey talk and also more captain news. Shame Mike Kleinkoff left already. I know he'd be relishing in this. Pittsburgh Penguins forward Sidney Crosby named captain of Team Canada for the World Cup of Hockey. I don't think this is a big surprise.
Anyway. God. It's official. Team Canada is probably my most hated team in this entire World Cup.
Also, I forgot the one that came through today. Hurricanes GM Executive Vice President and former Pittsburgh Penguin Ron Francis given contract extension through the 2018-19 season.
Well, he's got a real mountain of a task here to try and make that team relevant again. But yeah, Team Canada naming Crosby. I think that was pretty obvious. Like you said, he was obviously going to be named team captain. It'd be stupid for Canada not to name him team captain.
Yeah. You look around the other teams in this World Cup of Hockey. Thomas Plekanec is, was named the Team Czech Republic captain on the 29th. They're starting to formulate their hierarchy, so to speak, within the ranks. So, this is going to be a great tournament, man. I can't wait for it. We're roughly about 3 weeks away, right, Maddie?
Yeah, 3 weeks away before we find ourselves in the thick of it in World Cup hockey.
That is sweet.
Yeah.
Absolutely. A couple other, keeping with the news, but, with World Cup of Hockey, Patrick Laine is healthy and ready to represent Finland. Jets coach Paul Maurice says rookie forward has legitimate shot at NHL roster after the World Cup as well.
Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say Laine was going to be one of the major looks for Winnipeg moving forward on that one. But
right.
With the World Cup officially being 3 weeks away, I think it's time we get into a little predictions, a little bit of the rosters here. We did go over the rosters last week, but taking all that into account, the World Cup officially starts off as this with the group stages. Group A will be Canada, the Czech Republic, Team Europe, and Team United States. And Group B will be Team Finland, Team North America, Team Russia, and Team Sweden as our official group stages. And the tournament begins on September 17th, as it will be a 3:30 p.m. match between Team Europe and Team USA.
Actually, there's in the other group, there's games that actually start as early as Thursday, September 8th, I see here, where it's Team Czech Republic versus Team Russia.
Oh, I think those are prelims.
Are they prelims?
Yeah, they're prelims.
Pre-tournament games.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I'll be watching that too. So.
I put it down in my schedule as well. I'm not missing that.
The prelims begin September the 8th, and you said the tournament begins, the preliminary round robin, on Saturday, September 17th.
Yes, it does. Team USA versus Team Europe. So the youngsters of Europe facing the veterans of the United States of America. That is right. That is exciting, man. I cannot wait for this. This tournament's going to be fun.
Group A is going to be tough, man. Wow.
it
Europe,
is.
USA, Czech Republic, and Canada.
It is.
I'm assuming the top two make out of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
The way the tournament format works is that the top two of each group go to a tournament stage. And what the tournament stage entails is it'll be the winner of Group A facing the runner-up of Group B, and the winner of Group B facing the runner-up of Group A. The semifinals will be single elimination, and then the finals is a best-of-3 series.
Oh, the Olympic style, same thing. Okay, I got it. So I'm clued in, man. Now, speaking of the Olympics, really quickly, man, I want to ask you a Flyers trivia question just to tie it in, start off with the Flyers or what have you, and, into this international play. Can you tell me, Maddie, which Philadelphia Flyer player was named tournament MVP of the 2006 Winter Olympics in Torino, Italy?
In Torino, Italy. Was it Peter Forsberg?
It was not Peter Forsberg. I will give you a clue. It's a goaltender.
Was it? Was our starting goalie back then? So was it? Wait a minute. Our starting goalie in 2006 was Robert Ashe.
That is correct, and it was not Robert Ashe. What was I going to say? Hey, anybody out there has the answer, hit us up on Facebook. Hit us up on our Hockey Happy Hour page or A2D Radio's page. What other clue can I give you? I believe, I want to say he was Team Finland. Let me look this up real quick.
Niittymaki?
Correct, sir.
Huh.
Antero Niittymaki. I remember this too, watching that Olympics. Just had a phenomenal tournament that really brought up his hype in the NHL, and he went on as far as to win the MVP with the gold medal. I believe the Finns won the gold medal that year.
No, the Swedes did.
The Swedes
They
did.
were the runner. They won the silver.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that was the year Team USA and Team Canada both were just terrible that year, and they weren't even competitive. But that's a good question. I would never have guessed Antero Niittymaki because Niittymaki, he was good for a period of time, but then as we started to go along in his Flyers career, we realized maybe he's not as good as we thought he was, because we realized we needed to get Marty Biron to be our starter after that.
He needed the bigger rink in international play.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
But to his credit, he did beat out Antti Niemi for the starting spot in San Jose one time, so big ups to him on that one.
Right.
But to give you guys a bit of a better picture for the first game of the World Cup for Team USA, I'll give you the rosters to kind of hammer it home. We did it last week, but we'll do it this week. Team Europe is with Philadelphia Flyer, Pierre-Edouard Bellemare of France, Michael Bodker of Colorado from the land of Denmark, Leon Draisaitl from the Edmonton Oilers from the land of Germany, Marian Gaborik of the Los Angeles Kings from Slovakia, Jannik Hansen of the Vancouver Canucks from Denmark, Marian Hossa, Chicago Blackhawks, obviously from Slovakia, Anze Kopitar, Las Vegas Kings from Slovenia, Nino Niederreiter, I love that name, from the Minnesota Wild from Switzerland, Franz Nielsen of the Detroit Red Wings from Denmark, Tobias Ryder of the Arizona Coyotes from Germany, Thomas Tatar from the Detroit Red Wings from Slovakia, Tater. Tomas Vanek of the Detroit Red Wings from Austria. Mats Zuccarello of the New York Rangers from Norway. And then defense, they got Zdeno Chara of the Boston Bruins from Slovakia. They've got Christian Ehrhoff, unrestricted free agent, actually, strangely enough. He's not with a team. But a former Vancouver Canuck. Yep. And from Germany, Roman Josi of the Nashville Preds from Switzerland, Dennis Seidenberg, another unrestricted free agent and former Philadelphia Flyer and Boston Bruin from Germany, Andrei Sekera from the Edmonton Oilers from Slovakia, and Lucas Spiza, the Vancouver Canucks, former Flyers draft pick on Team Switzerland. God, this is kind of depressing. And then Mark Streit of the Philadelphia Flyers from Team Switzerland. And then to the goalies. Frederik Andersen of the Toronto Maple Leafs from Denmark, Thomas Greiss of the New York Islanders from Germany, and Yaroslav Halak of the New York Islanders from Slovakia. Can we just call this team Team Slovakia and Team Germany? Because that's pretty much 90% of this roster.
No, I think you got to call it Team Rocking Chair. It's old. I mean, minus the goaltenders. The goaltenders are young, but a lot of the players you mentioned there. I mean, minus Matt Zuccarello. This team's too old to compete, man. I think USA is going to trounce them in the opening game. Yeah,
because you look at it this way. I mean, we've seen Gaborik's been around forever. Marian Hossa's been around forever. Kopitar's a veteran. Jannik Hansen's been around for a little while. I mean, Nino Niederreiter, he was on the Islanders, and now he's on the Wild. He's been around for a while as well. I mean, put it into perspective, Niederreiter was a big-time player when what's-his-face was brand new, who played on the Sabres. And what was his name? Molson. There we go. Matt Molson. Yep. Yeah, Matt Molson and Niederreiter both broke in around the same time. That's how old Niederreiter is.
And you didn't even mention Zdeno Chara.
Yeah, and Zdeno Chara is the oldest one of them all.
Yeah, so, maybe it didn't even need mentioning. We know he's old.
Yeah.
But, I don't like Team Europe's chances.
Yeah, Team Europe facing off against Team USA, which I'm going to go on up to here. And Team USA starts us off with Justin Abdelkader of the Red Wings, David Backes of the Boston Bruins, Brandon Dubinsky of the Columbus Blue Jackets, Patrick Kane of the Chicago Blackhawks, Ryan Kessler of the Anaheim Ducks, TJ Oshie of the Washington Capitals, Max Pacioretty of the Montreal Canadiens, Kyle Palmieri of the New Jersey Devils, Zach Parise of the Minnesota Wild, Joe Pavelski of the San Jose Sharks, Derek Stepan of the New York Rangers, James Van Riemsdyk of the Toronto Maple Leafs, Blake Wheeler of the Winnipeg Jets. On the defense, Dustin Byfuglien of the Winnipeg Jets, John Carlson of the Washington Capitals, Eric Johnson of the Colorado Avalanche, Jack Johnson, Ryan McDonough, Matt Niskanen, Ryan Sutter. Goalies, Ben Bishop, Jonathan Quick, and Corey Schneider. I think you're right. I mean, in all honesty, Rob, after reading this roster, that is a lot of speed right there that the USA's got right now.
Absolutely. I think this is the best set of forwards that Team USA has had in a long time, maybe going back to when Brett Hull laced them up. Honestly, I mean, Zach Parise is a longtime pro of international play for Team USA. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not sure if he's their captain or not, but that's who would be my guess is Team USA's captain. I'll have to look that up on the other side. But what I don't like about Team USA is the goaltending. I mean, Jonathan Quick, you could say, is one of the best in the league, but he, too, is getting up there and did not have that great of a season last year. He could be at the beginning of his decline. And then behind him, you said Corey Schneider.
Corey Schneider and Ben Bishop.
And Ben Bishop, who, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's hard to argue against Bishop and Quick. They're pros. I mean, Bishop had Tampa Bay Lightning on his shoulders. But I don't know. I don't like it. There's something tells me that might be the Achilles heel of this team.
Yeah, that could be. I mean, Ben Bishop is a good, solid goalie, but he has had his moments of shakiness. Same thing with Johnny Quick and Corey Schneider. I mean, in all fairness to Schneider, he got beat out by the New Jersey Devils starting position by Johan Hedberg, who was a 30-something-year-old veteran. That's not a whole lot I like to hitch my wagon on. And now he's not even with New Jersey anymore.
Right.
So, I mean, just saying, I don't know. I don't know about that one. Well, he is still with Jersey, but you get the point. You basically forgot he was there because Kincaid has kind of taken over that New Jersey Devils spot, really. But nonetheless, though, that is a little bit of a preview of the World Cup. We'll come back with more of a preview of the World Cup. We'll go through the other teams.
Oh, yeah, we've only just begun.
We just scratched the surface on this bad boy right here. And we'll give our predictions as well for the future. Right now, we got the USA winning their opening match against Team Europe. Before we go to break, real fast, Rob, score.
Score of that game? I'm going to say 5-1 USA.
5-1. I'm going to say 4-3. Nah, I'm going to say 4-2. I mean, a little bit more competitive. Maybe Europe sneaks a quick goal in there, goal or two, and the USA still trying to get cohesive. But anyway, I'm just going to say that as generally being friendly to Europe. What do I got against them? Anyway, moving forward. All right. When we come back, more World Cup talk. Don't go anywhere, folks. This is the Hockey Happy Hour brought to you by Gibson Mayer LLC, your certified public accountants. You can give them a call, 301 Oxford Valley. Give them a call. They are located at 31 Oxford Valley Road in Yardley, PA. And you give them a call, 215-369-3300. This is the Hockey Happy Hour at A2DRadio.com. And we will see you guys right after this.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
You're listening to A2D Radio. A2D Radio. A2D Radio. At A2DRadio.com.
Hey, do you consider yourself the next Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, or Jordan Spieth? Well, head on out on November 5th at Valley Brook Country Club in Blackwood, New Jersey for A2DRadio.com's first ever Real Talk Invitational. $125 per person to enter, teams up to 4 members, and it includes all you can eat and drink, and contests including longest drive, putting competition, closest to the pin, and the hole-in-one contest. Once again, it's November 5th at Valley Brook Country Club in Blackwood, New Jersey. The guys here at A2DRadio.com hope to see you there.
Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
Booyakasha! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hockey Happy Hour. We are live from the BMW of Atlantic City Studios here in Mount Ephraim, New Jersey. And we welcome you back, as well as does the Sports Outlet for all your sporting needs. You can locate them at 703 Black Horse Pike in Glendora, New Jersey. And you can give them a call at 856-939-2030. Email them at sportsoutletnj@comcast.net or visit them on the web at www.sportsoutletinc.com.
I got the quick question for you. I hear this Clinton running for president. Didn't he run last time?
Welcome back, ladies.
I love the Ali G reference.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I know.
I don't love the horrible English accent that I just offered. I don't do accents. Really. I took a shot at it. I failed. Just like Team Europe will fail.
They just never added up. But oh well.
Oh, man.
Like most Europeans, they don't measure up.
Hey-oh!
And that is why I am your European champion.
Oh, my goodness. We're having too much fun here, man.
We are, and we just lost all our European listeners. But anyway, all right.
If you're digging what we're doing here, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You search a2dradio.com, the home of real sports talk, real couch talk in this case.
Absolutely.
Can't wait till we're back on video.
Speaking of real talk, I do believe that we have the fans giving us some real talk on our Twitter poll. So, Rob, what are the results of that Twitter question?
Absolutely. The Twitter question, which is who will win the World Cup of Hockey? Pretty simple. Team USA, Team Sweden, Team Canada, Team Russia. 4 of our favorites, 4 of the favorites out there. There's obviously more teams we're going to be getting into. But no big surprise. With 50% of the vote, Team Canada was elected by the fans to win the World Cup of Hockey. They did invent the sport after all and have been pretty dominant in it. After that, 25% voted for the USA, 17% voted for Russia, and only 8% voted for Team Sweden, which I believe was Brian Daly's. I don't know if he picked them to win the tournament or picked them to go very far in the tournament.
I think he might have actually picked them, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
I think he did pick them to win.
I know. I'm pretty sure he did because I took a look after when I got home from the show, and I'm like, you know what? I didn't agree with him on the show, but as I looked more into their team, I'm like, yeah, they are pretty freaking good, man. They do have a shot at it. I hear Henrik Lundqvist, and I'm like, boo, boo this man.
Yeah, to hell with Henrik Lundqvist.
Absolutely. Well, our Twitter poll is being brought to you, as you said, the Real Talk Invitational happening November 5th at the Valley Brook Country Club, located 200 Gulf View Drive in Blackwood, New Jersey. For any country club specifics, give them a call, 856-227-3171. But check out our tournament event on Facebook. You can order tickets right through that Facebook page at a2dradio.com events. $125 to enter. All you can eat, all you can drink. 5 great events. You get to meet everybody, all the jocks here from a2dradio.com. And maybe a few celebs might show up. I don't know. I'm just saying. Hole in one, you get a free card, too.
Sounds like a good deal right there.
It's not going to be my Chevy Camaro like I indicated last week.
Oh.
She's all spruced up outside. I'm keeping that, baby.
Oh, okay. So now you put the neon lights on it underneath and everything like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got yourself a Vin Diesel car.
I'm like an Indian giver when it comes to offers.
Well, speaking of Indian givers, Russia. And as of this moment in time, Russia will be the next matchup on the World Cup docket. At 3 o'clock on September 18th, they would face off with Team Sweden. And why don't we get into the Team Russia roster? Russia's roster is composed of Artem Anisimov, Yevgeny Dandinov, who is not in the NHL. He actually plays for SKA St. Petersburg in the KHL, as well as Pavel Datsuk, who will be playing for that exact same team come next season because he is done with the NHL. Nikita Kucherov, Nikolai Kulemin, Evgeny Kuznetsov, Evgeny Malkin, Vladislav Nemetstikov, Alex Ovechkin, Artemi Panarin. I keep getting that name wrong. It's all the complicated ones I get right. That's the one that gets me every time.
And it's amazing, man, because you're balls on accurate. I'm the guy that butchers names here. I think we've been working together too long. I'm starting to rub off. But you know what I think of? And not that way. But a way I remember his name, I think of Panoramic View because he just has a complete game. So Panarin. That's how I remember. I have to come up with things like that at my old age. Or else I should just belong in the producer's chair with my mic off.
All right, then. So we go from the panoramic view of Artemi Panarin. And next up, Vadim Shipachyov, who is of, again, SKA St. Petersburg. Did they just have a deal to put players on this team? Anyway, Ivan Telegin from the CSKA Moscow, which is another team in the KHL, as you probably have surmised by now. And Vladimir Tarasenko, not of the KHL. He's actually on the St. Louis Blues, believe it or not. Moving on to the defense, we go to Alexei Imolin, Dmitry Kulikov, Alexei Marchenko, Andrei Markov, Dmitry Orlov, Nikita Zaitsev, and that will pretty much surmise the defense. And we got actually a young buck here at Nikita Zaitsev coming in from the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's an interesting choice right there.
It is, and I mean that's the thing is that, and you saw some people voting for Russia, right? Maybe they were just saying, well, yeah, Team Russia. I remember when there was Soviet Army, Red Army, you know, and I mean there are talent. You think of Alex Ovechkin, you think of Jaromir Jagr, right? A lot of guys you've never heard of before, and that makes for a dangerous team because low scouting reports on them. They could really come in and surprise a lot of people in this tournament.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, of course, can't forget the goalies. Former Philadelphia Flyer, now turned Columbus Blue Jacket, Sergei Bobrovsky. Still haven't forgiven Paul Holmgren for that trade.
Yeah.
And then also Semyon Varlamov and Andrei Vasilevsky. Now, I will say this. I like Russia's goaltending. I mean, they've got Semyon Varlamov, Sergei Bobrovsky, and Andrei Vasilevsky. Now, don't sleep on Andrei Vasilevsky because the reason why is he put on a phenomenal performance in the playoffs. He really helped Tampa Bay when they lost Ben Bishop. I think everybody and their mother was saying, ooh, Tampa's in trouble. But Vasilevsky, man, he competed with Matt Murray in the Eastern Conference Finals. He single-handedly got Tampa Bay a Game 7 that they did not deserve.
Yeah, man. I out of all the teams we've covered both last week and this week, I think this might be the best goalie tryout on any team in the World Cup of hockey. I mean, Varlamov has been great. Varlamov, come on, see, I'm proving my point already. Bob, lights out. And Vasilevsky, I wouldn't be surprised if he sneaks ahead of one of these two, if not both of these, on the depth chart, because the man's got skills to pay the bills.
He does, man. He'd be a starter on any other team, but the only reason why he's not a starter is because he's on the Tampa Bay Lightning, and that's Ben Bishop's gig.
Right.
But moving forward, they will be taking on Team Sweden, and Team Sweden's roster consists of Nicholas Backstrom, Louis Eriksson, who I wish the Flyers would have taken a shot at, but oh well. Philip Forsberg, we didn't have the cap space. Anyway, Patrick Hornquist, Carl Hagelin, Marcus Kruger, Gabriel Landeskog, Daniel Sedin, Henrik Sedin, Jakob Silfverberg, Carl Soderberg, Henrik Zetterberg, Ricard Raquel, and, of course, over to the defensemen, Matthias Ekholm, Oliver Ekman Larson, Victor Hedman, Nicholas Jarmerson, Eric Carlson, Hampus Lindholm, and Anton Strawman. Big-time special teams player. Goalies, Jonas Enroth, Henrik Lundqvist, and Jakob Markstrom.
Yeah, it's a strong team. I see why Brian picks them to win it. I think their forwards are outstanding. Defense, too. Eric Carlson, hard to argue with him. Victor Hedman, Hampus Lindholm, Anton Strawman. Really strong. I mean, like I said, goaltending could be their Achilles heel unless, like, Henrik Lundqvist, shows up, 5 years younger.
That might actually be the one thing that makes them not win the championship. And I'll say this again because, yeah, you got Henrik Lundqvist, but what happens if he has a bad tournament? What if he hasn't shaken off, what happened to him in the playoffs when he got shell-shocked by the Penguins? I mean, if that's the case, they'll have to depend heavily on Jonas Enroth, because Markstrom is really unproven with the Vancouver Canucks. So it's going to be a real tough sell in my book to see them get this far if goaltending becomes shabby with Sweden.
Right.
But that's the only real nitpick I have for them. Other than that, they've got a solid team all around from forwards to defense. So really, in this first game between Russia and Sweden, who do you think really wins in the long run?
I got to go with Team Russia, man. I like their goaltending better, and I'm taking nothing. It's going to be a battle of the forwards.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just going to be a great game because you got good goaltending and you have good scorers. It could go either way. This game could be a 6-5 game, or it could be a 2-1 game if you get good performance from Henrik Lundqvist. I'm going to have to go, I'm going to have to go Team Russia. I'm going to go Team Russia winning this opening round game.
I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to say Team Russia wins. My score is I think Russia wins a very tight game. I actually think they hold them scoreless. I think they can pull off a 1-0 victory on Sweden. And I think Sweden, they have a strong showing, and I think Henrik Lundqvist starts to shake off that rust. I think they put up a good fight themselves, but I think Russia sneaks it out at the end of the day.
As most Russians do. Oh, I just alienated everybody now.
Hey, I'm still European champion, though. So
yeah, you are.
Nothing changes that. But anyway.
I'm just, my boy Dimitri that listens to all of our shows, that was just a direct shot at him. It's not the Russian. I'm not a racist. I'm not stereotypical.
I'm not a racist.
I swear to God, I was just having a little fun with a friend of mine over there. Okay.
Well, it's funny. They had a stereotype map that I was looking at a couple days ago, and it was hilarious how Americans see Russia. They see it as communism and vodka. That's how they see it. And it's not that, but still, more of the vodka thing. But still, you get the point.
I love me some Smirnoff.
Not much of a vodka drinker, but still, yeah, I do kind of identify with that being more of a whiskey guy myself. But anyway, moving on. All right. We're going to go back to September 17th. I was actually wrong. That isn't the next matchup on there. The later matchup on September 17th is back to North America. Team Canada, against the Czech Republic.
Yep.
And why don't we get into the rosters here? We'll save Canada for last. Let's get to the Czech Republic first.
Sounds good to me.
So mostly so we don't count them immediately out of this. Let's get to the Czech Republic. Here we go. Radek Faksa. Almost got it wrong. Radek Faksa, Michael Frolik, Martin Hansel, Aleš Hemsky, Tomas Hertl, Dmitry Yaskin, David Krejci, Milan Mikalik, Andre Palat, David Pasternak. I love that name, Pasternak.
Yeah, it is.
Tomas Plakanix, along with Vladimir Zabatka, who is not in the NHL anymore, actually, folks. He's in the KHL with Avangard Omsk. And, of course, Philadelphia Flyer, Jake Voracek, better known as Jakub Voracek in the Czech Republic, but he's still Jake the Snake to us. Moving on to the defense, another Flyer, Rocco Gudis, Michael Jordan, okay, and Michael Kempney, along with Zebnik Mikalik, Jakub
Mikhail
Nakladl.
Jordan. It's Mikhail Jordan, not Michael Jordan. Jordan is not picking up his third sport.
Jakub Nakladl, Roman Pollock, and Andre Suster. And then to the goalies, Peter Mrazek, Michael Neuwirth of the Flyers, awesome,
Yep.
and Andre Pavlik. I love it. I got 3 Flyers on this team. This is cool. I like it.
You know, hey, a lot of Flyers fans could root for Team Czech Republic in USA games.
Of course,
or,
yeah.
Or if you're listening to us from Canada, team obviously going for Team Canada. But yeah, it's a good team. You know what? Not a lot of names that wow you.
No,
right?
no.
But you know as well as I do, in international play, Czech Republic always shows up strong. They're always that sneaky team that just dominates. And I mean, like we've seen it in the past with Yager and some more notable names, but Michael Frolik, Thomas Hertl, Krejci, Plakanec, and then of course, Jakub Voracek, and then having Neuwirth in the goal, Gudis on defense. This is a team that could really make some noise in this tournament. I really have a feeling that they will.
Well, mark it down. They are my pick to win. You want to know why? Because they have Michael Jordan on their team. That's why.
And Michael Jordan never loses, especially when he's gambling.
Yeah, absolutely. And he certainly is gambling playing hockey. All right.
Here's a question. Do they have a chance to upset Team Canada in that opening round game?
Well, let's see here. Why don't we take a look at Canada's roster?
Okay.
Let's see.
Okay.
To Team Canada. We started off with Patrice Bergeron, Jeff Carter, Logan Couture, Sid the Kid, Sidney Crosby, Michael Duchesne, Ryan Getzlaf, Claude Giroux, that's right, G, and Brad Marchand, Tyler Seguin, Steven Stamkos, John Tavares, Jonathan Taves, Joe Thornton. That's just the forwards, folks. Let's go to the defense. Brent Burns, Drew Doughty, Joe Baumeister, or Baumeister, whichever one you want to say.
Mister.
Jake Muzzin, Alex Pietrangelo, Mark-Edouard Vlasic, Shea Weber. If you're wondering why I'm laughing, I'll tell you why in a minute. Goaltender Corey Crawford, Braden Holtby, and Carey Price. No. Czech Republic has no hope in hell of beating Team Canada in this opening match, to say the least.
The only way they have a hope is if Racco Gudis just goes on a hitting spree. And watch this happen. Watch him check Claude Giroux, his own teammate, hurt Claude Giroux, and then Hextall will take a hockey stick right over his head, like going back to his playing days, maybe even putting him in front of a firing squad. That's my quick prediction.
Actually, he'll take a goalie paddle to his ass.
But, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah.
I mean, and let's be honest here. If it came down to it, if it was between Hextall and Gudis, my money's on Hextall.
Right.
But anyway, he may be
right.
old, but I'm pretty sure he's still fierce.
Right.
Anyway, but man, how can you bet against Team Canada right now? This is just, wow. This is a nasty team right here.
Yeah, I think, definitely chalk that up to a loss for the Czech Republic and a win for Team Canada. And the best thing that Czech Republic can hope for is wins over USA and Team Europe to move on, because that's not going to happen against Canada.
No, absolutely not. And I'm going to say right now, it's a 3-0 blowout.
Yeah.
I think Canada absolutely trounces the Czech Republic.
I think that the Czech Republic will make it a game. They will make it a game despite the disparage between the rosters there, because they just always show up with international play. So I could see it being like a 1-2 goal victory for Team Canada, but they're like in cruise control during that victory.
All right, and we got one more game for September 18th at 8 o'clock. Finland versus Team North America. So why don't we get started with Team Finland's roster here. And here, it's all the way down at the bottom, of course, at the very end of this page. All right, finally, here we are. 1 year later.
Yeah, good luck with these names, buddy.
Let's see. To Team Finland, we start off with Sebastian Aho.
Aho!
Who plays for Karpat in the Finnish Hockey League, which is the Sim Ilga.
He munches on carpet? What?
It's awesome. I love how his last name's Aho and he plays for Karpat. Isn't it awesome? And we move on, of course, next to Alexander Barkov. That sounds more Russian, but okay. Jonas Donskoy, that's another name I love.
Yeah.
Valtteri Filppula, who can't forget that one. Mikhail Granlund, Eric Haula, and Jussi Jokinen, Miku Koivu, Leo Komarov. How did that one get me? Lori Korpikoski, Patrick Lanny, Yori Lahitera.
I'm in your head, Mr. Suzuki. I'm in your head. That's why it got to you.
Yeah. And Toivu Teravainen on the forwards. To the defense, Jyrki Jokipaka.
Oh, I love that name.
Yep. Sammy Lepisto, who does not play in the NHL. He plays for Salavat Yuliov Ufa in the KHL. Issa Lindell, Oli Mata, Vili Poka, or Vili Paka actually is a better way to say it. Rasmus Ristolainen, and of course, Brian Daly's man crush, Sammy Vodnin, and I'm sure that's not his man crush, but I just like breaking his balls. But anyway, on to goalies. Miku Koskinen of the SK St. Petersburg in the KHL, so there's a little bit of a sneaky possibly in the goaltending department. Tuukka Rask and Pekarine. That is Team Finland's roster. Interesting. Not a whole lot of names that jump out you either. I mean, besides Valtteri Filppula, Jokinen, and Koivu, and also you could say Ristolainen. Yeah, Lonnie as well. But besides that, Teravainen's a good, solid player. So's Donskoy, Granlund as well, and Barkov. They're well-known, solid players for their NHL franchises. We don't know anything about Sebastian Aho, but maybe he'll surprise us a little bit here. You got Jokipaka, who's well-known in Calgary. It's going to be an interesting situation for Finland. But, would you say that they have the weakest roster out of all the World Cup teams? Because I kind of think they do.
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to disagree with you, but I cannot.
I mean, goaltending is where they're really going to be strong, though, with Tuukka Rask and Pekarine, barring that Tuukka Rask is up to snuff because he, too, looked human last year.
Right.
But let's see. I mean, Team Finland against Team North America. Let's take a look here, shall we? Once I can get that roster up, it would be nice.
Yep.
The internet's fun when it wants to work. All right, here we go.
I got you backed up, partner. I'm right on the same page with you.
All right, here we are. Team North America, which combines the youngsters of Canada and the United States of America. And let's get started with Sean Couturier, the Philadelphia Flyers, who is American and Canadian, strangely enough, so he can represent both countries. Ain't that a great cop-out when you need it? On to next, Jonathan Drouin of the Tampa Bay Lightning, of course, speaks for himself. Jack Eichel, another guy who speaks for himself. Johnny Gaudreau speaks for himself. Dylan Larkin speaks for himself. Nathan McKinnon, again. Austin Matthews, Connor McDavid, JT Miller, Sean Monahan, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Brandon Saad, and Michael Schiffle. Or Shifley, actually, is a better word. Shifley. And then, of course, to the defense.
Ironically, Sean Couturier doesn't stand up for the Canadian national anthem.
Yeah, that is true. He doesn't. But then again, how many people do?
You got me with the mixed nationalities.
Yeah.
All right. Screw Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, to hell with you. Don't like America. Go to Canada, man. They don't oppress anybody, apparently. But anyway, moving on to defense. Aaron Ekblad, Shane Gostisbehere, that's right, baby. Seth Jones, Ryan Murray, Colton Parayko, Morgan Riley, and Jacob Trouba. And then to the goalies, Johnny Gibson, Connor Hellebuyck. Thank you. And Matt Murray.
This is my team that's going to shock the world and win the World Cup of Hockey. You're taking the best of North America, of USA and Canada under the age of 24, I believe.
Yes.
You just look through that forward lineup. You got, Connor McDavid, former number one pick, current number one pick, Austin Matthews, JT Miller, who's strong, Dylan Larkin, who's strong, Johnny Hockey, Mr. Johnny Gaudreau, local area product, Jonathan Drouin, Jack Eichel, who was second to Connor McDavid. The worst player might be our own Sean Couturier on this offensive thing. And then the defense, Gostisbehere, Ekblad, Jones. I mean, you went through all the names. The only concern I have is maybe the goaltending. They're all young and might be shaky, but Gibson is talented. Murray is talented. And Connor Hellebuyck is I owned him in fantasy a little. We owned him a little bit in fantasy. I really think that this team, especially because they're in Group B with Finland, Russia, and Sweden, my prediction is that Sweden and North America, not Team Russia, will come out of that group. And then if they do that, watch out. Watch out, Team Canada. Watch out, Team USA, because your youngsters are coming for you, and they're going to take advantage, and they're going to exploit your age.
All right, then. So now that we've got that out of the way, I think it's pretty much obvious who we think is going to win this bad boy. And I'm going to say Team North America wins it all the way. I would say it's a little close. I think it winds up being a 3-1 win.
Over Team Finland?
Over Team Finland. I don't think it's anything more than 3-1, though.
No, I disagree, man. I think this has the potentiality to have that all-star game feel where it's like 8-1. But the other all-star team didn't show up. We just said Team Finland probably has the worst roster out of all these people. And but I mean, maybe you're right, because they might be a little wet behind the ears. Just getting acclimated. It is only the first round. But Team North America, I'd say they dominate in this game on the ESPN. I hate that ESPN is covering this shit.
Yeah, well, hopefully they'll plan on bringing Gary Thorne and Bill Clement at least to commentate on the games. Hopefully they won't put in some sloppy crew out of nowhere. I hope not. Oh, and I hope to God that What's-His-Face doesn't wind up a part of it. What's his name? Melrose. I hope Barry Melrose is not a part of this at all. I hope Barry Melrose is not going to be touching this. It's annoying that he's even considered a hockey expert. He coached one good year with the Los Angeles Kings, and that's because he had Wayne Gretzky on his team. Not only that, they got to the Stanley Cup Finals, and did they win? No, they lost. They lost to the Montreal Canadiens that year. Get a freaking clue, ESPN. Though they are the worldwide leader of bullshit, as we like to say, and it is so true. Oh, well, the worldwide leader in charge of broadcasting these games. So, before we go to break real fast, we'll give a tease. We'll put our semifinals in, and then we'll run through it real fast, and then we'll end the tournament and go to WWE talk. But before we do that, my semifinals are this. Coming out of Group A, I'm going to say Team Canada and Team America, baby. They're going to be in the semifinals. And then to go along with it, for Group B, Team North America wins it, and Team Sweden comes out of that one as the runner-up. And that's my semifinals. Rob, real fast.
The same. I got to go with the same. I love to be disagreeable, but you got to go with Canada and USA out of Group A. Czech Republic will turn some heads. Maybe they could be sneaky and potentially knock out a Team USA early, but I just don't think it's going to happen. Team Canada and USA out of Group A, and Team Sweden and Team North America out of Group B. That's who you went with as well, right?
Yep, absolutely. So when we come back, we'll finish up our World Cup talk, and then we will get into some WWE wrestling talk. That's all on the other side, folks. Brought to you by BMW of Atlantic City. They have challenged their sales team. Get a BMW 2016 320i with xDrive, just $299 a month for 36 months. And you can visit them on the web at www.bmwofatlanticcity.com. And they are minutes off of exit 37 of the Parkway. And we will be right back on the Hockey Happy Hour here on A2DRadio.com.
Hey, do you need to get your skills in shape? Then contact the Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. You can give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. John Scanzano offers individual, semi-private, and team training lessons in hitting, pitching, catching, outfield, along with turf rentals. The Scanzano Sports Center is equipped with a 31,000 square foot indoor facility, 4 batting cages, and a 4,000 square foot strengthening and conditioning room. So what are you waiting for? Contact the Scanzano Sports Center today.
A2DRadio.com is proudly sponsored by Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Tom and Mike from AM and the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer LLC Certified Public Accountants, 215-369-3300, or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's gibsonmayer.com.
Bada boom, realest guy in the room. How you doing?
How you doing?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hockey Happy Hour. We are live from the BMW of Atlantic City Studios here in Mount Ephraim, New Jersey. And speaking of which, BMW of Atlantic City challenged its sales team. They must sell 100 vehicles, which means you save. Right now, lease a certified pre-owned Elite 2016 BMW 320i with xDrive, just $299 a month for 36 months. The ultimate driving experience is closer than you think. BMW of Atlantic City. They're easy to get to, minutes off at exit 37 of the Parkway, and they are online at BMWOfAtlanticCity.com. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's about time we round up our 2016 World Cup talk and we go through our semifinals matchups. I've got my semifinals, Rob's got his, which are pretty much the same. So why don't we get into the prediction side of it? And I'll start off with my Group A winner versus Group B runner-up matchup, which would be Team Sweden in Group B, the runner-up, facing off with the winner of Group A, Team Canada. And I will say this, I believe Team Canada wins. It's a bit of a fight. It's a very difficult fight, as a matter of fact, but I think Canada squeezes it out, and they manage to win 4-3 to go on to the finals.
Gotcha. I'm going to go a little different way here. You know, as I said, we both agree with Team Canada and USA coming out of Group A, and I would agree that Team Canada is the 1 and USA is the 2, right? I'm going to say in Group B that North America is the 1 and Sweden's the 2, which sets up for Canada, Sweden, USA, North America. And I'm going to say that this is where Team USA gets defeated. Team North America will beat Team USA.
Interesting. Okay, then, so my next semifinal matchup will be the winner of Group B against the runner-up of Group A. And the winner of my Group B, I had Team North America, just like you did. And then the B team, and then Group A's runner-up, Team USA. So we got.
Oh, so you did. I'm sorry. So you did say Canada. My apologies. It's tough producing.
It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. It happens.
Gotcha.
But nonetheless, though, in this matchup, I have Team America versus Team North America. And I'm going to say this right now. I love the young kids. I think they're great. But you know what? I got to go because I stand for the national anthem, damn it. And I'm going to stand while saying this. Team America's going to win it.
Yeah.
And they're going to win it in a very tough fight. They're going to win it 4-2 and move on to the finals to face Team Canada.
Well, you know, I mean, you know, experience can go a long way. So, I mean, certainly that's certainly very viable. easy for me to say. But, Team USA versus Team North America, I don't think I'd be disappointed either way there.
No,
So,
me neither.
Yeah, absolutely. So getting back to what you originally asked, Team Canada versus Team Sweden. Again, I'm going to go with Team Canada, beating Team Sweden in a highly fought contest. But I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Sweden upsets Canada. I would not be surprised.
It is a possibility.
Yeah.
It is not out of the realm of possibilities.
Let me really ride the fence.
And moving on to Finland. Was that to say that, Canada likes to ride the fence all the time? Crosby does. But anyway, moving on. On to the finals. And we've got me, an all-North America final. USA versus Team Canada. And I'm going to say in a best-of-3 series, Team America wins the whole thing. They snag it from Canada and send them back up north of the border. They win it 2-1 in the best-of-3 series.
And just to simply put, for the interest of time, I say North America shocks the world and beats Team Canada and is your World Cup of Hockey champions.
All right. Now that that's over with, it's time for some WWE wrestling. And why don't we get started with talking about what'd you think of last night's Raw?
I loved it, man. I absolutely loved it. The two matches that really impressed me and seemed very pay-per-view-like was first the New Day with Bayley versus the Club with Dana Brooks. I think that was a great matchup. I think it's a great pairing putting Bayley with the New Day. It's a match made in heaven. I'm a hugger. Power of positivity. It's great. I was glad that they won because, Anderson and Gallows can go walk off a short pier as far as I'm concerned. And then the last match of the night, the fatal four-way elimination match, was one of the best matches I've seen pay-per-view, Raw, SmackDown, wherever. And little spoiler alert, we did see Triple H for the first time since WrestleMania come in, and you thought he was helping Seth Rollins win the belt, but in the end helps KO win the Universal Championship. My jaw hit the ground, Maddie. I don't know about yours.
My jaw hit. I was very happy at the very tail end of Monday Night Raw. But I'll be honest with you, I kind of thought this show sucked up until the tag team match and the main event.
You suck, man. No, I'm just kidding.
All honesty, I think the first two matches were clearly throwaway matches. Sami Zayn, Jinder Mahal, Chris Jericho versus Ricochet, better known as Neville in WWE. I mean, all honesty, those were obvious who was going to win. Good matches. Nothing against the matches. It was good work, but I wouldn't be lying if you're going to be 1,000% in tuned. You know what's going to happen. Moving on to the tag team match, I was locked in completely on that. That was a great matchup and a great victory for Bayley and the New Day. Nothing wrong with that. But then the mid-card came and ruined the whole damn thing. You had...
Damn.
Yeah, damn. You had Nia Jax in another squash match. You had Braun Strowman in another squash match. You know it's bad when Braun Strowman is boring as a brick, and yet I was more interested in the luchador dude he beat the crap out of. I wanted to see more of that guy. I don't want to see Braun Strowman, big, dumb, stupid. I don't want to see him.
Oh, you mean Americano?
Yeah.
I got a solution to it. Nia Jax versus Braun Strowman.
There you go. There you go. No, in a wedding from hell match, that's what you do because they get married. That's what it is. Have the two biggest people on the roster get together.
And Kane can officiate, sure.
Yeah,
I love
absolutely. Absolutely. It makes perfect sense to do that.
Is Corporate Kane on Raw?
Good question. I'm not sure what show he's on.
I haven't seen him in a long time.
I mean, there's been debate that he's going to retire soon anyway, so it would make sense, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, no. He's on SmackDown. That's right.
He is on
he's
SmackDown.
on SmackDown.
And I don't get often chance to check out SmackDown because I'm usually busy Tuesday nights. That makes sense. I remember that promo that I saw when he came out and fought with Hogan and Rock versus the NWO.
Yeah.
That really told me, I'm like, damn. And, Kane wasn't new then. He was already established then, but kind of a new – and that was, 99 or even earlier than that?
What, back in – when Kane first debuted or when –
No, when Kane fought with The Rock and Hogan versus the NWO.
Oh, that was in 2002.
Oh, okay. So a little sooner than that. But, I mean, that's 14 years ago.
Yeah.
He's been doing it for a long time. But you know what? Wrestlers can do it for a long time.
And now – of course, the final real nail in the coffin for me was Titus O'Neil versus Darren Young. I saw that 2 years ago, dumbass. I'm not stupid. You're not fooling me. I don't want to see a rehash of two people who clearly don't know what the hell they're doing, can't get over to save their asses. And yes, I'm proud Darren Young. Congratulations coming out of the closet, being the first gay wrestler. Congratulations. In all seriousness, it takes a lot of courage to do that.
Yeah,
but you are boring, man. You are not exciting to watch. And Titus O'Neil, you're another boring guy. I'd rather watch paint dry than you two.
Well, I wasn't following wrestling 2 years ago, so it was new to me.
I got you, but still, I that was like watching paint dry. Now, the Fatal 4-Way match, thank God, they made up for everything. A great Fatal 4-Way main event. I was happy with the result. I'm happy that Kevin Owens is the new Universal Champion. And that's all I got to say about that.
That's all I got to say about that. I mean, I hear you, man. I don't dig the whole Sheamus Cesaro best of
yeah,
seven.
that too. I
fast forward right through that so I could like flick around a little bit. But I mean, as you know, just those two matches being on pay-per-view level, I don't care what the mid-card's like. I think it was a great Raw last night, and the Paul Heyman coming out and apologizing to Stephanie McMahon, that was just fabulous. That was well done by the WWE.
That was a good segment. Yeah, I liked that. I liked it when Paul Heyman did that. And I loved how he took the money out, the stack of ones, and he just counted off the money that Brock Lesnar was fined. I love
all
that.
singles. Was
Yeah.
that a subtle way to call
Yeah.
Stephanie a stripper?
Yeah, basically. I love that. I love that. That was great. So that will do it for this edition of the Hockey Happy Hour. We hope you all had a lot of fun. We did. And we hope to see you guys next week here on A2DRadio.com. From all of us here, Matt Tsutsuni, Rob the Povia, this Hockey Happy Hour brought to you by Scanzano Sports Center, located at 5 Carnegie Plaza in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Give them a call at 856-889-3434 or visit them on the web at www.scanzanosports.com. Last call, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you next week on A2DRadio.com. Peace.